Good morning, Port St. Lucie. Welcome back to another episode of PSL Daily Download, your first stop to all things real estate in Port St. Lucie. Today is May 20th, 2024. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. My name is Jaime, and again, thank you for returning to the channel. Today, we got a lot of great stuff to cover. We're going to talk about our inventory, kind of see where our numbers are going. We're going to look at where the rates are starting off the week at. We're going to see where the market's at. And then we're also going to end with a review of Redfin's April market report for Port St. Lucie or for the St. Lucie area. So I'm excited about going over that, which actually I just glanced at it. So we'll basically be going at it for the first time together. So can't wait for me to mess that up. All right, let's get started. So the tracker. Let's see where we're at. So again, I'm not going to dig in. As you can see, there's a lot of volatility. I kind of touched on this either Thursday or Friday of last week. But I'm going to kind of hit where we're at month to date and kind of the trends and if anything stands out. But month to date, overall inventory has increased about a little over 1%. We're at 1.12. Homes listed under 375 are right at about 2% increase month to date. Homes above 375 are at just below zero point 0.8, so at 0.79%. This is a big decrease. Homes that are listed with a reduced price is down 6%. Now, I think the reason for this is because these are the houses that are selling. If I had to bet, I feel pretty comfortable saying that the house prices are obviously higher. There's an affordability issue out there, and I think the sellers that are pricing correctly and maybe giving an incentive or pricing it a little bit lower than they originally started, those are the houses that are moving. So we've seen that trend specifically pick up this month, um, which doesn't surprise me. We're right in the middle of spring buying season, which kind of will go through August. But it's moving. Those houses are moving. So if you're selling, there might be different ways for you to price your house. Let that be with lower prices, obviously, or maybe seller concessions. So talk to your realtor, and if you have any questions, of course, you could always call me. Homes listed for rent were increased at 7.73. So that's also a large number. Those are basically homes that, I believe are either people are maybe moving away from that primary residence and converting it into a rental property. That might be one way that this number is getting affected. The second way is maybe an Airbnb that, tourism has slowed compared to the pandemic, not in a bad way, but, kind of going back to normal. And I believe a lot of, at least in my neighborhood, I've actually specifically seen a few of these, three in one block. So, I will take that um, as confirmation, at least in my small neighborhood, that it's happening. Where maybe Airbnbs aren't cash flowing as well as they should or were expected to at some point. So they're basically listing those for rental homes now. So basically long-term rentals. All right, we'll move on from there. Let's go to the Mortgage News Daily's daily rate survey. Again, this is the rates as of close of the previous business day. Yes, I finally said it. So Friday afternoon closing. So this is where Mortgage News Daily had the rates, and I'll kind of touch on what I'm seeing already this morning. So the 30-year fixed rate, they had it at 7.09, which increased 0.07% from the open of Friday. And they had the 30-year fixed FHA at 6.62, which was also an increase of 0.07. So it looked like the pricing increased throughout Friday a little bit, which is kind of the trend I'm already seeing for this morning. I've gotten a couple price updates for this morning, and they're showing about 9 basis points higher on the pricing. So we'll see. We've had a large decrease of rates over the last 3 weeks, maybe even a month at this point. So it's not surprising if it starts reverting or reversing a little bit. All right. CNBC's U.S. market let's see where they're at, and we got all greens. I mean, and again, this the dollar against euro is basically at par. So now keep in mind the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield, um, as that increases, that means that it's putting upward pressure on mortgage rates. So, and I kind of say this, if it's green at this early in the morning and the trend continues, we may see a pricing to the upside on mortgage rates. So we'll keep tracking that, and any big changes, I'll come back to you. And then lastly, this is the Redfin mortgage housing market. Sorry, for Port St. Lucie, Florida. This was released, if I'm not mistaken, I looked at it. It was just released a few days ago. So I'm going to kind of run through it. I'm actually going to try to see if I could get a local realtor to come in and get the numbers from their MLS here locally, which I believe is going to be more accurate. And they could actually give you more insight on what these numbers really mean and how kind of maneuver to for if you're selling, if you're purchasing, how to maneuver through the market. So, but I'll kind of hit on the high ends here. So, let's see. Medium sales price is at 410,000. That's an increase of 5.6% year over year, and we can see right here, see that big jump from one month to the next. And literally, it's the highest we've been on record here. So, prices continue to go up, especially during home buying season. Keep in mind that during this season, prices, I won't say always, but usually always go up. So that's close to almost always. So even during the GFC in 2008 or 2009, if I'm not mistaken, during this time of the year, they actually still increased or stabilized. They did not decrease. So homes for sale 484, no inventory change there. And then medium days on the market have been at 71 days, and we can see kind of flat line there. So we're kind of on a trend. The houses that are coming on board are moving. They're sitting about 70 days, but then the other ones are rolling off. So the inventory seems to kind of have stabilized, let's say, or the days on the market has stabilized with the inventory that's coming in and out. All right. So let's look at how hot is the Port St. Lucie housing market. Sorry, I gotta just make sure we're up on the screen here. They have a rating of 40, which really doesn't mean a lot to me, but what it does mean right over here, sales to list price. Basically, this 97.7%. That is, if a house gets listed at 100,000, the houses in that example are selling for about 97,700. So about 2 to 3% less than the initial asking price. Okay. And again, we're starting to see it in my daily inventory. That's one of the things I just touched on, was that the houses that are moving are the ones that are reduced. That percentage of inventory is obviously coming down. All right. Homes sold above listing price, we're at 12.6%, which is actually down 1.9 year over year. And we can see it's the lowest on a 3-year record. Let's see, 5 years, kind of average or back to normal, looks like. So not a bad thing, but this is an anomaly. Obviously, we don't, this was during the pandemic, and we were seeing all these houses, the majority, or actually close to half of the houses sold, were selling above asking price. All right. And anyone in the industry remembers that very clearly. All right. And let's look at, we'll finish off with where are people moving in and out of. So, and I like looking at this because I think some of these cities actually just kind of catch me off guard, because I really don't think about specific cities bringing in a lot of people, or people going from Florida to some of these. So I'll touch on that here. But the people moving to Port St. Lucie, not a shocker. New York is on top of the list. We have Washington, followed by Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, Hartford, and San Diego. Okay, so really no shockers. You get a lot of the northeast and the west coast people coming to Port St. Lucie. Now, who's leaving? Like, so if you're leaving Port St. Lucie, where are you going? Cape Coral, Orlando, Sarasota, Jacksonville, Tampa, Ocala, Palm Bay. So let's stop there. All Florida. So people are just moving, relocating. I won't say locally, but locally in Florida, basically just kind of moving up and down the coast and across the coast, Cape Coral, which I believe most of those people are probably for, the retirees. They're probably seeing the traffic get worse, things like that, and maybe they want to get away a little bit from that. That's my opinion. I don't know. But the funny one that was there also last month, or actually the last couple months, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota. Like, who wants to go from Florida to Minnesota? I don't know. I've never been there, but I do hear it's a nice city, especially during the summer. But man, those winters got to be brutal. Then you have North Carolina, which is beautiful, and then San Antonio, Texas, which is not shocking. Um, a lot of Florida people do move to Texas. All right, so that's the recap for the Port St. Lucie housing market for April Redfin report. So again, I'm going to try to bring someone, a local realtor, to talk about the numbers straight out of that local MLS, so that way they could give us more accurate information. They could deep dive a little bit and give us a little bit more insight in what do those numbers mean to all of us. All right. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to click that like, that subscribe button. There's also a little bell icon that if you click on that, you'll be notified next time I release a video. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing day and I hope you win. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.